It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon AKSAMIT.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, the University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Now today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. William Kramer, who is an assistant professor of industrial organizational psychology at UNO. So Dr. Kramer, today's question is, what can teams do now to improve virtual teamwork?
Since 2020, one of the most common questions I'm asked by employees and managers of organizations is, what can we do to better adapt to a virtual workplace? So here are 4 things that you or your organization can do right now to help have more effective virtual teams. 1, do everything you can to mimic face-to-face interaction when discussing your project online. This means turn on that webcam and make yourself visible to your teammates. Research tells us that it's very easy for teammates to feel disconnected from one another when they're online. This isn't your fault, it's human nature. We want to be part of an in-group, but it's hard with no face-to-face presence. 2, try to include everyone in discussion and decisions, especially for those of us who are comfortable in virtual settings. It's easy to forget others might not be. And with discomfort comes less participation. This can be a big problem if your team needs to generate a creative solution or is engaged in problem solving, because the best ideas come from hearing lots of perspectives and integrating them together. So if you're leading a meeting, make it a habit to offer the floor to any teammates who are less comfortable or ask probing questions, like, Jane, what do you think of that idea? 3, give detailed, thoughtful responses to teammates. This might be one of the most important takeaways for virtual teams that rely heavily on emails. So for example, if your supervisor emails you and says, looks fine, ... you might start to question the use of ellipses and, oh no, they used the word fine and not good, ultimately causing you to spiral out into thinking your work was below par. Really though, this is often our brains filling in some blanks because we're missing nonverbal information like tone of voice and affective response. So remember, if you have any questions about interpretation, it is better to ask. 4, be a predictable and engaged teammate. With all teamwork comes the need to trust others to get their work done. Yet working virtually means that we have fewer visual cues to show us they're actually working. So if a teammate tells us that something will be done by a certain time, and we don't see a finished product, we tend to create our own story and often assume that the teammate is slacking or just doesn't care. This means you need to take control of your own narrative by meeting deadlines. And if you can't, be transparent about why with your teammates. Otherwise, they will assume the worst.
Thank you, Dr. Kramer, for sharing your expertise on the topic. Now for our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. So if you have a question that you want answered, submit it at newschannelnebraska.com.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website and join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. while we answer your questions.